Hello, hello! Welcome to my channel, everyone. I wanted to do a little tattoo tour because I've had a couple of people saying that, oh, I love your tattoos. What other ones do you have? So I'm actually going to do it because over the past couple of years, I've accumulated quite a few from lots of different places. I thought I would just do a little tour and explain a bit about pain, the placement, who did it, where I got it done, and just a bit about my experience with all the different ones that I have. So I think, let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. I have 19 tattoos currently. I just got one done yesterday, so I'm counting that as 2 separate tattoos because technically it is 2 separate tattoos. I'm gonna start from the first ones I got to my most recent, so like in order of when I got them. To begin, when I was 18, I think a couple of months after my 18th birthday, I got a tattoo done on my inner thigh. I'll show all the tattoos I got like up here. Done on my inner thigh, and this is probably my least favorite tattoo I have done because I feel like I got it done before I kind of knew what style I was into. So it's very like thick lines, floral, which isn't kind of my thing now. Don't get me wrong, I love florals on other people, but on myself, I'm not a crazy like floral kind of person. I kind of like more animals. I don't even know how to explain my tattoo style, but you'll kind of see. Yeah, so it's like a floral thing with like a couple of flowers, and I'm pretty sure I just found a photo on Pinterest and was like, hey, can you do this? And this was like in my hometown in Geelong. It was quite like a known store to be like cheap, and the artist didn't really seem very happy that day, so that made me a bit nervous. He got it done. It was not that very painful. I don't really remember because it was so long ago, but like the placement you would think was quite, I do really like the placement of where it is. It's just like not my style, and I'll never get it removed because I don't hate it. I think on a pain scale I'm gonna do between 1 and 10. It was because it was my first tattoo, I didn't really know like what to expect from it, so I would say maybe like a 4 out of 10. It was painful because it's right on the bone, nothing crazy compared to some of my other ones. Moving on, next I got this little pine tree on my ankle, and I got this done also in my hometown in Geelong, and the artist was a lot more nicer because I didn't go back to the other place after that experience because I didn't like it very much. And this is my only meaningful tattoo out of any of them. The other ones are just stuff that I kind of think look cool, because if I got a tattoo for something meaningful, I would probably have like 3 tattoos and that's it. I think it's really cool to get stuff done that I just like the look of. Palm tree like represents where I grew up. There was a lot of pine trees and I just wanted to kind of keep a piece of home with me. And I would say it would literally, oh, I forgot to say how long they took. The first one took maybe half an hour. Shouldn't have taken that long, but it did. The second one, I think he was literally done in like 10 to 15 minutes. It was so quick and it's quite detailed. So I was quite happy with that one, and I still like it now. Oh, I forgot to say how much they cost as well. So the first one I think was $250, which is quite expensive to me now looking back at it for, yeah. And the second one, I think it was like only $150 because it's so tiny, and pain hardly even felt that one. I think it was like a 2 out of 10. I think the next one I got done was my moth on my left arm, butterfly moth, whatever you call it. And now I got this done from Gloria at Little Gold Studio. I don't think she's at that studio anymore, but Brunswick in Melbourne. And this is when I kind of started finding my rhythm with like my style, what I like the look of, and I was getting a bit more bold with placement. So like this one's like right on my arm. At the time I was trying to get them done like in secretive spots because I didn't know what career I wanted, and then this is kind of when I started getting a bit more bold with the placement, and I still to this day absolutely adore this tattoo. I think pain, this was stick and poke by the way, so this wasn't done with a machine. I think it took maybe 2 hours because it's so intricate and there's some like black work in there, so it takes a long time to do that kind of tattoo with stick and poke. But stick and poke is a lot less painless than a gun to me, even though a gun's quicker, but towards the end it does start to get quite painful. So I would say it was maybe like a 5 out of 10 because it's like quite a tender skin spot there on your arm. And I think this was $250, which I was quite pleased with for like the amount of work and how happy I was with it. I also got like a symmetrical butterfly moth on the other side. It's not exactly the same tattoo, and I didn't want it to be the same tattoo, but Lily also did that one done in Melbourne. This one probably hurt a little bit more because I think it took a little bit longer as well. So maybe like a 6 out of 10. And again, it was the same price, so 250. So my cute little matching moths, you'll start to see a little bit of how much I love symmetrical tattoos. I believe I got my vase done, which is this one here. My absolute favorite tattoo still to this day is my favorite tattoo, the broken vase. An artist called Billy, or But Maybe on Instagram, you can find her here. And I've gotten a lot of tattoos done from her since then because she's just amazing. She's quite expensive, but she's very fast and quite painless because it's like such fine line tattoos. And so this one, you're gonna think I'm crazy for spending this much money, but this one was like, I think 350 or 400 bucks. And I think it took 45 minutes, 40 minutes. Yeah, and it was quite painless. I mean, upper arm is quite a painless spot. So I think I would say like a 2 to 3 out of 10. Yeah, and she's at Little Gold Studio, but I believe she's changed studios again since then, and love that tattoo. Yeah, my absolute favorite still to this day. Again, by her as well, I got the snake tattoo done, and these are all from her flash. An artist will draw up their own designs and you can like pick what you like, and then they'll do that instead of you coming up and bringing an idea to them. There's a couple that I did that, but most of my artwork is flash. And this one I believe cost $4.50, and again, not very painful because it was on my arm. So I would say like literally a 2 to 3 out of 10, and I think that took about an hour, maybe a little bit less, can't quite remember because this is going back like 2 to 3 years. I got my little reborn lettering done. I got this done by a guy called Paulie in Geelong. It was quite a good experience. I like it, but it's definitely not straight on my leg. I can definitely tell, and you'll be able to tell in this image that the letters are like slightly crooked. Still love it that I'm obsessed with the placement on my leg like that, and I love lettering, so I'm not really that angry about it. And Reborn is the title of a Kids See Ghosts song, so that's why I got that one. Not super meaningful, just a song I really like. And then at the same time that I got that one done, I got this, what do they call it, continuous line tattoo done. I think I found the artwork on Pinterest. Again, this is before I really started getting into what style I like. I remember this being quite painful actually. I think maybe like a 6 to 7 out of 10. I don't know why, because I do have dermatitis on my upper arm, so I think that might have influenced how painful that was. And again, like the tattoo, won't get it removed, but it's not really my thing anymore, which is good because it's on the back of my arm. I never see it anyway. So, and I believe both of those I got done for like 150 bucks, so it was quite cheap. And he was a cool artist, but yeah, again, won't really go back to him. And then I went to a place in Melbourne called Alchemy Tattoo to an apprentice called Hara. I'm not sure if she's still an apprentice or if she's like a tattoo artist now, but so all of these I got done at apprentice rates, so they were quite cheap, and I'm extremely happy with pretty much all of them. Like when you go to an apprentice, you've got to expect that it's not going to be like 100% perfect because they still are learning, but I think for an apprentice these are like extraordinarily good, and she's amazing. Definitely would go back to her. So I got done on my upper arm one of her flash work, this like melting little brick wall, which I'm obsessed with. I love this one. But because sometimes like apprentices are learning, they don't know, they're still getting used to like tattooing with a machine, so sometimes it's a bit more painful than a really experienced artist. And I found she was extremely painful. Like she had a very like hard hand, so like kind of felt like a bit like she was drilling into my skin. Again, no complaints at all, like, because you know what you're getting into when you go to an apprentice. But these I would say are more painful than like the tattoo artists I've been to that are more experienced. I got 2 done at the same time, and I think I paid $200 for both of these tattoos, and they're both quite sizable, so I was extremely pleased about that. I think this one maybe like a 5 to 6 out of 10. And then I got this flower thing. I can't pronounce it, okay? I don't even want to try and pronounce it because I can never pronounce this word. Here it is here. This was on her flash sheet as well, so both of these were a flash. And this is to date my most painful tattoo I've ever had done. I'm not sure if it was because I went to an apprentice to get it done, or if the spot in particular was painful, or because there's a lot of black in this tattoo, or the size and how long it took. I think this took an hour and a half just to do in its own, and maybe the other one like half an hour, not even 25 minutes maybe. But this was like excruciating, like one of those tattoos where you like need to bite onto something. I just kind of had to go off into my own little zone with my eyes tightly shut to like mentally get through this tattoo. I absolutely love it, but I think it will take a lot for me to get any tattoos on the back of my shins now, just because of how painful that experience was. It was quite traumatic. After I had Hara do those, I went back to her right before I moved to Brisbane because she put out some flash work on Instagram, and I saw this tattoo and I was like, I cannot not get this tattoo. Like, I have to have this because it's just like one of the coolest designs I've ever seen. And so I was like, oh my gosh, can you please tattoo this on me before I move to Brisbane? Like, I have to get this done. So it's hard to explain what this even is, but you can see it here. It's trippy, psychedelic, like moon face tattoo. Yeah, it's hard to explain what it is, but you can see. I think that cost like $100. I put down like an $100 deposit and I didn't have to pay anything on the actual day. This was quite painful. It was right on the bone of my shin. I would say like a 7 to 8 out of 10. Not as painful as the back of my leg, which is like a solid 8 to 9 out of 10, but it was definitely my next most painful tattoo. But I'm obsessed with this one. Still to this day, I'm absolutely in love with this tattoo. Probably my second favorite tattoo that I have done. It's hard to place favorites. Took maybe an hour and a half. Apprentices again take a little bit longer. And then I actually tattooed myself a couple of little tattoos because I bought a tattoo gun off this website from America. It's a Dragon Hawk Master, like a cordless pen, and I tattooed myself a couple little things. So I tattooed this little heart, which I actually really love and still to this day really love. I think it's pretty good artwork because it's like hard to tattoo yourself because it's like your body doesn't really respond well to like self-inflicting pain, if that makes sense. So it's like hard to pull straight lines when it hurts and you're doing it on yourself. But I actually still love this tattoo, and I feel like when you hear a lot of people tattooing themselves, they like look back in time and wish they hadn't done it, but I love this tattoo. And then at the same time I did that one, I did the lettering for the word 11, which is my lucky number, so probably another somewhat meaningful tattoo, I guess. I don't know why 11 is my lucky number, it just is. When I was younger I used to only do things in sets of 11. Why I got that one done, that one, it kind of hurt because it was like right under my kneecap, and it's hard to make things even. Like I was looking in a mirror, but like you kind of tattooing from like downwards, so it's hard to pull straight lines. But again, I'm quite happy with it. I know it's slightly off center, but I don't really care, and I quite like it. And then I think also at the same time I did those, I did the little stars on my toe. Actually are god awful when I look at them, like in terms of the actual lines, but I actually really like that tattoo. I think it's a cool spot to have a tattoo on, even though it kind of sucks. That was like the first one I did on me and I could hardly even see what I was doing. That's why the lines were so terrible. Pretty happy with that all in all. I moved to Brisbane, so all the next two artists are Brisbane tattoo artists. So first I went to another apprentice, Thrill House Tattoo in Camp Hill, so like South Brisbane, India. She's an apprentice there. In the same session I got done these two flash, the eyes with like the flames around them, which I am obsessed with, but this was an extremely painful tattoo because it's like right on the bone, and an apprentice was doing it, and I think she'd only been tattooing for like 3 to 4 months when she tattooed me, so she was still very new to kind of finding the right depth and stuff. So she had like an extremely hard, heavy hand when she was tattooing these, so they were like quite painful. It took quite a little while, so I think maybe an hour and a half for both of the tattoos together, and there's like some black work, and I'm quite happy with these. I would say the pain was maybe like a 6 out of 10, 6 or a 7 out of 10. I got these done and one other tattoo, and it cost $250, $300 I think. And I would say that some of the black work needs touching up. Like I love the way it turned out, but I think eventually I will go back just to get the black filled in a little bit more. And at the same time I got done this little stampy I have here. It's like a little fruit stamp. So this wasn't a flash. I told her that I wanted a fruit stamp and I was happy for her to draw something up for me. And I'm very happy with what she chose because it's like this little orange. And then my second lucky number is lucky number 8. So that's why it says 8 cents on it. This, like, I could hardly feel because I had them done after the really painful like shin ones. So I would say it was like a 4 out of 10, and again they cost like $250, $300 together. That took maybe not even half an hour. I'll definitely go back to her again. And then after that I found this artist in Surfers Paradise near Cavalav. Her name's Naomi and she is absolutely the best. She's amazing. I got 2 tattoos done from her in the one session. So I had done first a flash piece from her, which is this little heart with the swords through it, which I absolutely love. And I will say she is one of the least painful tattoo artists I've ever been to. Like, it literally just felt like the tiniest little scratch on my leg. A pain like a 1 to 2 out of 10 is like literally one of my least painful tattoos I've had done. This tattoo was like $250, I think. And then in the same session I also had this Doberman. I just love Dobermans. They look so cool. They look pretty badass. So I said to her, hey, I love Dobermans. Can you draw me something up? And I sent her like through a couple of reference photos and she came up with this. As for placement, I was like tossing up between putting it here on my arm, but I loved the design so much that I wanted to be able to see it like all the times. The outline didn't hurt very much because it's not a really painful spot, but when she was doing the heavy black work, that started to hurt after quite a while. So I think the sword took maybe like 20 minutes, like she was so quick. And then this maybe took an hour on top of the first tattoo I got done. And I think this was $300. So for the full session, I paid like $550. For pain wise, I think I would say it was like a 5 to 6 out of 10. The outline was like nothing, but the shading was like easily a 6 out of 10. I got Billy to do, who did the snake in the vase. She did these little Cupid cherub angels on my stomach. Quite nervous for this one because you hear everyone saying that stomach tattoos absolutely kill. But I wanted her to do it because the other tattoos didn't hurt much and it's like super fine line and it was actually super painless. Like I think I'd say it was like a 2 to 3 out of 10. Like it hurt, yeah, but it was so quick and such a small tattoo that it like hardly even mattered. The hardest part about tattoos on your stomach is finding like a good breathing rhythm because you don't want to be like taking a huge breath in when they're pulling a really straight line. So that was the worst bit about it, was I felt like I couldn't get enough air in at the right times and finding like the right timing to breathe. That was $350, I believe. It could have been $400. Again, can't really remember. It was a super long time ago. I think we're up to my latest tattoo, which is the one I got done yesterday by Naomi in Surfers Paradise as well. She did these absolute insane scorpions on my stomach. I've been wanting my stomach done for ages and the last tattoo she did on me was so painless and she was quick and I loved her work so much that I was like, during the appointment I was like, can I book in to get my stomach done with you? And she's like, amazing, let's do it. I think it took 2.5 hours, including like stencil placement because they're symmetrical. It like we put one down and I was happy with where it was on my stomach and then we had to keep moving the other one to like make it perfect because like when you're looking at something symmetrical it's so hard to get the right placement and like no one's body is symmetrical either. And I've had my appendix out so I have like a little scar on my belly button which makes that not completely symmetrical either, so it was like super hard to make the placement right. But no tattoo is perfect and everyone knows that, especially symmetrical tattoos, they're not perfect either. You need to keep that in mind. The outline absolutely sucked for these tattoos, super painful, especially like up towards like the flame area, like right on my rib cage. It was absolutely digging in and it was killing. I had to like shut my eyes and go into my own zone. My hands were sweaty. It was awful. That's got to be the most painful tattoo experience I've had, was just like the up towards my ribs. But like the shading was super fine. Like it felt like a breeze in a park compared to rib action. But again, super happy with it. I think the outline was like a solid 8 to 9 out of 10 and the shading was like literally like a 2 out of 10. I think again took 2.5 hours and it cost cost me $440, including the deposit, which I was extremely happy with. She is awesome, and I'll definitely be going back to her probably shortly. So yeah, that's everything. I hope you enjoyed this video, and comment down below if you want to see any more videos from me. I normally get tattoos through the winter, that way I can swim in the summer when they're not healing. I'll be wrapping up tattoo season for me because it's almost the end of winter here in Australia. So I think my last tattoos I normally get in like October. So after that I won't get any more until next year. Thank you so much for watching, and subscribe for more. I do weekly vlogs, and I'm trying to get into more like standalone videos. So I hope you enjoyed. Comment down below what tattoo is your favorite and what placement you think is the most painful. Hope you're having a great day, whatever you're doing, and see you later. Thanks for watching.